Hello and welcome this sorry. Okay. Hello and welcome. This is the Mindfulness Hub where we learn, share, and practice mindfulness together. I'm Asia. I'm a coach, creative arts facilitator, and mindfulness teacher. And I'm delighted to have you here today. So in today's video, we will be talking about automatic pilot, neuroplasticity, and the attitude of beginner's mind, which we cultivate in mindfulness. After that, we will do a short practice, and at the end, I will say a loving kindness meditation from my heart to yours. If you're new here, welcome to the space. I'm so happy you found it. Please join by subscribing, and you can share it with whomever you think might benefit. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your support and for valuing my work. So that said, as I mentioned in a previous video, automatic pilot is the feeling of having our mind in a different place than where our body is. Automatic pilot is helpful when it comes to things such as driving or riding a bike or brushing our teeth. It means that we don't have to think about or relearn how to do these things each time we do them. And also it allows us to be vigilant when we're driving, for example. We need automatic pilot to help us stay safe. However, automatic pilot does not help us when we are connecting with our inner landscape, our inner experiences. This means that when it comes to how we deal with our thoughts, our emotions, our moods, automatic pilot can be very unhelpful. And this is why. When we are in automatic pilot, we relate to things from the past and from habitual patterns. So you can imagine that if we're relating to our thoughts, our emotions, our moods, our body responses from what happened in the past, this can cause vicious cycles of anxiety, stress. It can cause us to define ourselves based on an experience. Essentially, it's almost as if we were constructing an idea of ourselves based on our inner experiences. And then from that construct, we relate to ourselves and others and the world. And that can be quite damaging because actually something to keep in mind is that our inner landscape, our inner experiences are always constantly changing. And it is important to understand that they are transient, they are temporary. And when we are in automatic pilot, we struggle to realize that. And so we begin to identify with thoughts such as, I'm a failure, or I never get it right, or this always happens to me. We begin to generalize, or we begin to fear certain emotions, or we begin to resist certain body responses. And in the long term, this can cause anxiety, stress, panic, disorders, and all these things. So mindfulness is incredibly helpful because it allows us to break that cycle of relating to our inner experiences automatically. Because with mindfulness, we cultivate this sense, this attitude of beginner's mind, which is essentially, imagine being a scientist and seeing things for the first time, or Or perhaps you might imagine yourself as an artist, or maybe you are an artist, and you understand that it is so incredibly important to be curious about your experience in order to find something new, to relate to things differently. And we're doing the same in mindfulness. And then there's this other concept, which is the concept of neuroplasticity, which is the brain's capacity to rewire itself over and over again. Our brains are constantly changing and evolving given the right conditions, and mindfulness supports these conditions. So through mindfulness, by cultivating presence, we are able to rewire our brain to relate to things differently, to manage situations differently, to relate to our body responses in a different way, to detach from thoughts, to welcome emotions without overly attaching ourselves to them. Connecting to others in more meaningful and deep ways. If you have any questions about this, please do write them in the comments and I'll happily answer them. So let's jump into the meditation, shall we? So finding a comfortable position, whether it's lying down, sitting down, whatever works for you at this time, and then remembering to bring that sense of kindness and compassion that we cultivate in mindfulness. You might do so by lighting a candle or allowing yourself to find a comfortable position, grabbing a pillow, cushion, warm blanket, scarf, whatever you may need to bring that sense of ease to yourself. And remember that at any point, if you feel uncomfortable, if something comes up for you, honoring that and taking care of yourself as best as you can. You might pause or interrupt the practice entirely. You might open your eyes if they were closed and rub your hands together, whatever you need to do to return. Okay, and when you're ready, let's begin. So, allowing yourself to land in this space. Actually, before we begin, I'm just going to sip some water. Okay. Wonderful. So now allowing yourself to land, feeling your feet on the ground, your bum on the chair, if you're sitting, or just noticing the points of contact of your body with the ground below you, the surface below you. And just noticing the support, whatever's supporting your body. And now taking a first inner glance at your inner landscape, noticing perhaps the landscape of your mind, the road of your mind. I invite you to bring that sense of beginner's mind, of curiosity we spoke about earlier. And noticing whether the road of your mind is busy, not so busy, and what thought buses might be there. You might imagine thoughts as big red double-decker buses, passing through the road of your mind. each one going to a different destination. There might be a number 32 headed to what's for dinner, or a number 12 headed to why did I do that? Or a number 5 headed to this is weird. And just noticing what thought buses might be present on the road of your mind. Some whizzing through, others stuck in traffic. Whenever you notice yourself on a thought bus, perhaps getting caught up in thoughts, then noticing that you got on a thought bus, and then gently taking yourself off the thought bus, back to noticing your thoughts, back to your awareness of thoughts. Getting really curious about any judgments or expectations, perhaps expectations of having an empty mind. Remembering that having an empty mind is virtually impossible as human beings. Noticing any judgments about how you're doing. Seeing if you can notice the judgments and see them for what they are. Perhaps it's a thought bus, number 19, headed to I never get it right. And seeing if you can hop off that thought bus and see it for what it is, a judgment. And seeing if you can bring that sense of curiosity to your thoughts, as if you were experiencing them for the first time. And now moving your awareness to your feet and ankles, feeling them on the ground, and getting really curious about what you find in your feet, the sensations in your feet. Not so much your idea of the feet and ankles, but your experience of the feet right now, the feeling of them. Noticing what's there, perhaps tingling or itching, throbbing, or anything else. And if you don't feel the feet, noticing that too. Knowing there is no right or wrong way to do mindfulness. Knowing that your experience is your experience. And now moving your awareness up to include your legs and knees. noticing what sensations are present here. Feeling into the legs or feet. You might imagine if it helps to shine the torchlight of your awareness on your legs. Getting really curious about what they feel like. And now moving your awareness up to your shoulders, neck, jaw, and seeing what's here. Seeing if there's any tension or tightness or stiffness, any tension in the jaw. And if there is, seeing if you can gently adjust or perhaps breathe into these parts of the body. And as you breathe out, seeing if they are ready to soften. And often we have an expectation to find our shoulders, neck, or jaw tight. And seeing if we can acknowledge that expectation, if we have it, and then meet the shoulders, neck, and jaw as they are right now. Befriending them with as much curiosity as you can. And now, whenever you find yourself wanting your shoulders to be different than what they are now, seeing if you can notice that expectation and then kindly return your awareness to the shoulders. And now allowing yourself to receive a sense of your body as it is now, noticing any sensations that stand out in a particular way. Perhaps sensations that are vivid, pleasant, or uncomfortable. Again, reminding yourself to be a bit like a scientist or an artist, seeing things as if for the first time. And whenever you notice yourself judging the state of your body, seeing if you can acknowledge that judgment and bring that sense of beginner's mind to your body. And seeing if you can find any new sensations without creating them, but rather becoming aware of any sensations that we may not have noticed before. Or allowing any sensations to rise to the surface of your awareness in their own time. And now moving our awareness to our emotions or moods. And seeing if with utmost curiosity we can see what's here, what's already here in our emotional landscape. And seeing if we're tensing up against any emotions or bracing, resisting them. Perhaps we believe that if we allow ourselves to feel what we feel, that we will never stop feeling that way. And that couldn't be further from the truth. When we resist, our emotions, they persist. And so seeing now if we can gently loosen the grip and breathing to that tension wherever it may be showing up in the body. Seeing if we can allow ourselves to soften, even if just for now, or even if just for a short while. Seeing if we can bring a sense of curiosity to our emotions. Observing them and where they show up in the body, what thoughts accompany them. You can think of emotions as a physical sensation or a cluster of physical sensations coupled with a thought or a narrative about ourselves, others, or the world. And so seeing what sensations are coming with that emotion, what thoughts. And if there is any resistance, noticing that, being curious about it. Any fear or hesitation or discomfort or judgment or expectation, noticing that. And now, as we come to the end of our practice today, allowing yourself to return to the space however you need. You might twiddle your toes, stretch, yawn, and then when you're ready, you may place a hand on your heart or belly. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be free from suffering. May you come to love and accept all that you are, even your mistakes. May you live with ease, and may you know great joy. If there is anything you noticed about the practice that you would like to share in the comments, please do so. I will happily reply. And let me know what it was like for you to bring that sense of beginner's mind and curiosity to your experience. Until next time,